Hey there smartphone fans, welcome back for another honest hands-on review here in Smartphone Wars, the place where I review all those really good budget phones from China you probably never heard of, but you actually should have. And today I got for you a very high specs IP68 rugged phone from Vernee, and that's the Vernee Active with 128 gigs of onboard storage, 6 gigs of RAM, NFC, Helio P25, Full HD display, and USB Type-C with a 60 megapixel Sony camera. The Vernee Active is the latest generation, a bit more compact, rugged IP68 phone that Vernee are trying to do, and the device really looks innovative and is really pushing a new look. The body is not made out of metal, this is made of plastic and rubber, which is far more durable than any metal phone when it comes to falls and like 3-story drops, for instance. The Vernee Active is by far the lightest rugged phone I've ever tested with IP68 rating, clocking in just below 200 grams. That's thanks to that very nice build and the 4200 mAh battery inside. And this absolutely has the fastest fingerprint scanner on a rugged device you can get today, period. Instantaneous unlock. Design language for me is very appealing, and so are the specs. So 5.5-inch Full HD display, Octa-Core Helio P25, 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigabytes of expandable onboard storage, NFC, a 30 megapixel Sony IMX258 camera, and 4200 mAh battery with all the sensors you need, maybe well besides the barometer sensor. When it comes to benchmarks, all those great high specs really put to good use, as the phone scores very reasonably, considering this is around $250 phone we're talking about here, with IP68 rating and huge storage inside. And the battery life, well, many of you may think that the 4200 mAh battery is small. The phone does get around 9-10 hours of screen on time with normal usage without any issues at all, and it does have that really cool ultra power saving feature where you can turn everything black and white while still retain 4G and even some of the app's usage. And the phone is 100% malware free, which I have tested. When you really try it with the cell bands, because this is the fullest cell band phone I've ever seen. This phone's 4G will definitely work in United States, Canada, Asia and Europe, anywhere with any operator. So this is very nice phone to import, and it's a very nice GPS phone in general for use navigation. But the Vernee Active is just a very nice package in general. It packs a fast charging charger which charges the 4200 mAh battery in around 2 hours. You get your USB Type-C, standard USB Type-C cable, so it's not one of those like really long ones which you can use standard cable. So this is the standard USB Type-C cable. Any USB Type-C cable can charge the Vernee Active, and inside you also get the SIM tray pin and warranty card, and that's it. You don't need any case for this phone ever. Like, this is one of the better built phones, and I said plastic and rubber really make a nice combination because it's very durable materials when it comes to drops, not that much when it comes to pressure. Also, this phone will definitely not survive getting run over by a car or something. And the flaps on this phone are really nicely built, they're really tightly shut, which really helps with the IP68 mold resistance. So this phone is 100% waterproof, as you see in just a minute. That's right, here it is, already out of the bowl which I've tested it, and it just looks even better when it's wet. This is very active, and women do look better when they're wet. And here is the phone itself. When I started to test it, just put it in the bowl of water, and I've kept it in there for just over 11 minutes, which I think is pretty enough considering this is like 11 minutes underwater. And taking the phone out after that really had absolutely no effect on functionality. Touchscreen, fingerprint scanner, everything was running as it should. The speakers were a bit muffled by the water, but once it dried up for like 20-30 minutes, the speaker quality was back to its usual self, which I'll check a little bit later on. So IP68 rating, totally real, 100% dust and waterproof as well. Now when it comes to interface, this is Vernee's own VOS, which is essentially really very vanilla Android with pretty much nothing else on it besides that ultra power saving feature that Vernee use. So it's a very light, breezy software skin. You get your app drawer, you get all the Google apps pre-installed, Google Assistant works, and you do have NFC, but the NFC does not include Android Pay support, so it's only for transmitting app contents and tags which is a shame because I think most people really use that for Android Pay besides most other things. And this is running Android 7 Nougat with the November security patch, not the latest one, but people with rugged phones really don't care, I think, about that all this much. And Android Nougat is really fine for me because it does have split screen multitasking and screen recording, which are essentially the most sought out features in any Android device. Now on to performance with the Vernee Active massive 60 gigs of RAM Octa-Core Helio P25, and the phone really performs very admirably for these high specs and this very low price budget phone. This is not one of the fastest phones I've tested even in this price range, but it's definitely a good daily driver, especially when it comes to RAM management and multitasking, which you'll see in a minute, because the 6 gigs of RAM are really put to very good use. I can't say if it fully utilizes 6 gigs of RAM, but it definitely utilizes 4, which I think is pretty much okay. For me, you can have for open like 5-6 tabs on Google Chrome and 10-15 apps on the background, switch between them on the fly, and the phone will not lag and will not reload any apps or pages. So for me, this is very good RAM management, essentially a great daily driver usage for people, because people really have been let down by a lot of rugged devices being very slow with poor specs at high prices. I mean, I'm actually envisioning Samsung X Cover series and Cat's S series, which are really tough phones, but they weigh a ton and they're slow as hell. So this is something that you don't get with the Vernee Active. Light and very fast phone. So it's time now to get to the things I didn't like about the Vernee Active, and starting with the display. This is a 5.5 inch Full HD display, which is not really bad, but considering the price range, I expect a bit more. The sunlight visibility is not that great, the color gamut reproduction is not the best I've seen, the black's not as deep as I've seen, and it really just isn't that great of a display panel, more in line with $150 phones rather than $250 ones, and navigation keys are not backlit. Now onto the audio, which for me is, I think, really poor, deprived of any bass whatsoever, and it's not really that loud. With all those Helio P23 devices on the market, the Helio P25 to the common user really looks like a better chip because it's a higher number, but that really isn't the case. In really intensive, heavy 3D games, the Helio P23 phones like the Octa-Core K6 and the Vernee X perform much better than the Helio P25 here in the Vernee Active. Not saying this is a bad gaming phone, but putting it with the best quality graphic games out there will result in some lag and skipped frames, and the phone does also get a bit warm when gaming for a long time. So this is a decent gaming phone, but definitely not a great gaming phone, certainly not the best at this price range here. And next up is the camera, the 13 megapixel Sony sensor IMX258 on the back. Yes, this is a real Sony IMX258 on the back. It's interpolated to 16 megapixel and does have electronic image stabilization on the video, and the video quality is at Full HD. And as a casual picture taker, this is a phone that will satisfy users if you're not a really avid camera user. Even in like low lighting indoor conditions, it will get a half decent photo. Shutter speed is very fast, capturing speed is very fast, it takes HDR images instantaneously, has enough details and not that much noise, but it's really not great for low light photography, and the colors for me are a bit dull, and in low light the sensor really tries to overexpose the images far too well. The video quality on the other hand for this phone is very good for the price. The Full HD video is very nice. The front camera, well, I'm just not going to sugarcoat it, sorry. The front camera is poor. Even in perfect lighting conditions, you'll still get a like half good selfie, and the video quality is just really 2012. So the Vernee X does get a lot of things right. It's the lightest and highest specs 128GB IP68 phone with NFC on the market today, but that really doesn't mean it's the best phone out there for this price. If you like it, you can buy the phone from the link in the description below, because it does work in the USA and Canada. But if you're looking for the best rugged device with high specs, I do recommend you check out my Blackfoot BV9000 Pro, because I think this is a far superior phone in every aspect to the Vernee Active. Thanks for watching my Vernee Active honest review. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and share the videos so that your friends can enjoy it as well.